Welcome to the Faith Trends Podcast, conversations that connect research with ministry.
My name's Rick Heemstra.
I'm Lindsay Calloway.
We're the hosts of the Faith Trends Podcast.
And with Faith Trends, we're trying to make connections with researchers and ministry practitioners. We really want to be a place where we can talk about what's going on in the academy, but draw out the implications for the church.
Yeah, so often I talk with people in the academy who are doing their DMin or their PhD, and they have this gallows humor that the only people that are going to read their thesis are their examining board, their thesis advisor, and their mother. And we want to see that changed. We have really talented people that are doing all of this work for the kingdom, and somehow we hope to be a bridge that will help connect some people to that research.
And whether it's real or imagined, there is this idea that there's this gap between the church and the academy. And while we don't want to paint with broad strokes, we know that there are academic pastors and pastoral academics. We do think that there needs to be some sort of mediating process between these two institutions. And I think that Faith Trends can be one of those platforms, one of those mediators.
And I think that there's a real value in just introducing people to Christian higher education institutions in Canada, helping them to know the kind of talent that's there on the faculties, the kind of talent that's graduating from these schools, so that in the church, both pastors and prospective students can be connected to them. On this podcast, we really want to highlight people that are studying the Canadian context. Too often in Canada, when we hear about the church, we're hearing about what's going on in the American church or from an American context. And we're very culturally distinct. In fact, there's very many different regional cultures in Canada and of different kinds. But we want to make sure that we are highlighting those researchers and the research that helps us understand who we are as Canadians, who we are in the Canadian church.
So what you can expect from each episode is about 30 to 40 minutes of a conversation with a primary researcher. And afterwards, Rick and I will have a conversation of our own where we debrief and talk about our initial thoughts about the conversation and the implications for the church and ministry.
One of the things that we hope will happen is that some of our listeners will reach out using the information we provide in the show notes to connect with the researchers so that they can benefit in their ministry from that connection, and researchers can benefit from hearing from frontline ministry leaders.
We'll release episodes monthly, and we'd love to hear from you. You can reach us at faithtrends@theefc.ca. We hope you enjoy the podcast.
Thanks for listening. Find out more about the EFC's research at www.theefc.ca/research.